It is war in Mumbai. The cityscape is dotted with huge banners and posters signalling election season. Political parties have spared no expense. Large amounts of money are being spent on the campaign. But where does the money come from? Not all of it is through donations. As Magic Bricks Now discovered, several candidates are extorting cash from builders and restaurant owners who are easy targets in poll season. 3 businessmen spoke to us on the condition that their identities be concealed.
Last 2.5 months, I got a call from one person that you are doing illegal business, and he said that I want to meet you. He said some departmental lady told me, says so and so, so and so. Is this thing, or that just like assistant, he told me. He said, I'm working that in that department, and so you want to call. I said, what is the demand? He said some big money.
And morning my work is going on one side, the drainage work is going on, and she and her local people are come to my site and asking, show me permission, and you are not a corporator, you are a candidate, you are not have rights to ask me. Go and ask the BMC people why I am digging the road or something. So, no, come to my office and we want to talk to you. But I am not going to come.
In fact, money-hungry Netas begin their extortion rounds 6 months before any upcoming election. Restaurant owners and builders we spoke to say that these Netas function through agents. These agents are well-dressed, articulate and well-groomed. But they're also very persistent and harass business owners till they get their fee. And the most vociferous ones represent those in power.
And they'll pay the money by cash only. And when before these last 6 months, it will work more. They are doing more because they want they want to come to power.
Where business owners refuse to pay up, they are harassed with the threat of official inquiries or orders that could mean huge losses.
You go to a restaurant, in a kitchen, in peak hour, you'll find a floor wet. So there they can make a case. As simple as that. So what happens, even if the dustbin is not covered, they can file a case against us.
The rot is so deep that one restaurant owner went on to tell us that agents move around with blank papers signed by their bosses or corporators.
And I'll tell you one corporator I know, his right-hand man, he's got a blank letterhead signed by the corporator. So wherever he sees something, he'll go and just write the complaint and give it to the officer.
The biggest threat, however, is the goons who are brought out when every other attempt at extortion fails.
Yeah, they are telling, now okay, after that we'll see that, how do you the business, we'll send the boys, we'll do something, we'll do damage and all. Something about just like rights and all.
And despite demonetization, most of poll funds are still connected in cash. How much a business owner has to pay depends on the location of the business.
For example, 50,000 per square feet, you're done 100 square feet, something illegally they find or something. So 100 into 50, this much, you give 50% of that.
5 to maximum 5 to minimum 10,000. 5 lakh to 10,000. They are in between. They are bargaining.
The other big shock, however, was when builder and restaurant owners alleged that this extortion racket is thriving with the support of the police.
Local police is that beat masters or something, and that up to executive and sub engineer they like. Officer को वो लोग as a weapon बोलते हैं कि use करते हैं, weapons के जैसे use करते हैं officer के नाम से.
The Union Budget 2017 saw the centre attempt to make poll funding transparent by bringing in restrictions on cash donations up to 2,000 rupees, and anything over that has to be done through cheque payments. However, with the richest civic body up for grabs, these candidates will stop at absolutely nothing to be in that seat of power, resorting to extortion and in some cases even violence. Amita Balachandra for Magic Bricks Now.
Well, that's the story this evening as Mumbai prepares for those civic body elections. We've just shown you on this channel that several corporators and contenders are not just looking for donations anymore, they're intimidating and threatening business owners to extort money out of them. This, in fact, is such an organized criminal activity that they're using agents and brokers to intimidate and threaten with impunity. We're going to take a quick break, but on the other side, we'll find out how to put a stop to this sort of cheap politics and corruption. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Urban Debate on Magic Bricks now. We're talking about the deep-rooted corruption in our system. As Mumbai prepares for election, we understood and we've been covering that the IT department has been working overtime to make sure that post-demonetization, no black money seeps into the city. But it seems like the IT department might have completely missed the bus on this one. It seems like local businessmen, restaurant owners, restaurant and bar owners, small developers are being extorted on a daily basis, and this has been happening for the last 6 months. It hasn't stopped after the 8th of November. It has in fact continued without any sort of check. They have been extorting business owners and demanding money for them to fund their election campaigns. Remember, the Election Commission has made it very clear that every candidate can only spend 5 lakh rupees per campaign. I think we've far exceeded 5 lakh rupees in the campaigns that we're seeing right now in the city. I want to welcome my panel tonight. Charan Singh Sapra representing the Congress Party, Aarti Sati from the BJP, Rajiv Mishra and Vili Shirsat are both activists. Shailesh Gandhi is an activist and who specializes specifically with the RTI. Sanjay Taktare of the NCP, Stalin Dayanand, project director of an NGO called Vanashakti, and Sujay Kantawala, senior lawyer, all joining me on the show. I want to welcome everybody to the show, starting with Shailesh Gandhi. Shailesh Gandhi, extortion, threats, and sometimes violence. This is the kind of government we have to look forward to here in Mumbai.
Unfortunately, this has become a trend in Mumbai, and most political parties, some perhaps a little more than others, carry out extortion all through the period, not just during election time. But we must understand, I think we have got the genesis of running a black money only during elections. And there is a reason for this. Since years, we've got absurdly low limits on which virtually no candidate, and I repeat, no candidate who expects to win will stay in that limit. 40 years back, I remember talking to George Fernandez, who was then a Labour leader and socialist. And he also admitted that he was not going to stick to the limits laid down by the Election Commission. Why don't we stop this nonsense? Why don't we stop this hypocrisy? We keep saying we want anyone to be able to compete. Money is required for elections.
No, but Shailesh Gandhi, are you telling me that tomorrow if what is 5 lakh rupees per candidate today was increased to 5 crore rupees, that there would be less extortion in the market?
Then no, let me point out, ma'am. Then there is a possibility at least some candidates can honestly contest. Here we have a system where every candidate, honest or dishonest, decides that he has to raise black money if he wants to fight a campaign reasonably. And please ask any political leader or any representative of a political party if he can really put his hand on his heart and say honestly that his candidates are spending within the limit. This, I think, is a basic cause why black money keeps prevailing and keeps expanding. On the extortion part, yes, there are political parties who almost have extortionists as fairly important people in their party, and that's the money collection route. Instead of collecting money from the white system, they are collecting money from the black system, and this certainly is condemnable. But this has been a regular feature, I repeat, all through the period, not just when an election comes.
All right, let's ask those representing political parties on this panel right now. Charan Singh Sapra, I will start with you. Can you put your hand on your heart, like Shailesh Gandhi said, and tell us that your candidates are sticking to the limit of 5 lakh rupees per campaign?
See, I agree with Shailesh Gandhi on this point that the limit which the Election Commission has put should be enhanced. That will, make the atmosphere, the political atmosphere, a little easier. But the other part, if the candidates or the political leaders are extorting money somewhere, I feel the affected person, he has to come forward and he has to become a complainant. Only then this will stop. Like a couple of days ago,
Mr. Sapra, you're speaking as a politician who is well aware of the fact that the complainant in this case was too afraid to come forward because they are afraid of being targeted in the future. One of them told us that the person who has been arrested will be let off on bail, and then that person will target me specifically. Where is the solution to that?
No, somewhere this has to stop. So the people who are affected should become a complainant. Why? There's no hassle. They will get protection. What is the harm in that? And once the political leader is exposed, he will not dare to harm that person again.
I can see that the activists are shaking their heads. Mr. Shirsat, Mr. Willy Shirsat, do you believe that people will come forward, and if they come forward, that they will get protection and they will get justice?
No, never, ever. It can never happen like that. For everybody, life is very dear. And the political system, muscle man, what we always hear from them, muscle man. They have the muscle power, they have the finance power, and a poor man is at risk of his life to come out in open and talk anything about it. He will never do that. He will take the pie, humble pie, and be satisfied with that.
We have to take the example here of Bhupendra Veera. I'll ask Rajiv Mishra. Rajiv Mishra, you know of many activists who have been harmed, who have been... Bhupendra Veera, in fact, lost his life. Someone walked into his house and shot him point blank for complaining, not even against someone who was in power, but a former corporator. Do you think that the businessmen right now who are being threatened, from whom hafta is being collected for the election, will they come forward and complain? Do you think it makes sense for them to come forward and complain?
फिर मैं आपको एक बात बोलना चाहता हूं कि देखो, अगर मौत के डर से आपने लड़ाई छोड़ दी तो ये अच्छी बात नहीं है। आज हमारे चाहे आप बॉर्डर्स का सिक्योरिटी आप देख लो, या आप अपने जो इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी है, इसमें हर दिन लोग अपनी जान पर खेल करके इस देश की रक्षा कर रहे हैं। वैसी स्थिति में हम अपने मौत की डर से साइलेंट हो जाएं, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है मेरी नज़र में। और दूसरा एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा था, जो शैलेश गांधी साहब बोल रहे थे कि जो ये एक्सपेंसेस है, इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस का जो लिमिटेशन है, उसको बढ़ाया जाना चाहिए। मैं इस बात में भी इत्तेफाक नहीं रखता, क्योंकि इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस जो है, जो वार्ड लेवल पर आपको चुनाव लड़ना है या कुछ लड़ना है, मैं बोलता हूं अगर आप अच्छे काम कर रहे हैं, अगर आपने लोगों का दिल जीता है, तो देयर इज नो नीड कि आपको एक्सपेंस ज्यादा करना पड़े। अगर आप काम कर रहे हैं, लोगों के बीच में हैं, तो निश्चित तौर पे लोगों का रिटर्न्स आपको मिलेगा। और आपको मैं एक बात और फिर मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि अगर जहां तक रही एक्सटॉर्शन की बात, तो उसमें सबसे आपको इंपॉर्टेंट जो दो केसेस है, मैं उसका जिक्र करना चाहूंगा। एक सूरज परमार का केस जो आपके सामने आया हुआ था, और सारे लोग सूरज परमार के केस को जानते हैं। और दूसरा एक लेटेस्ट एग्जांपल है मुंबई हाई कोर्ट का, जिसमें उन्होंने नरेंद्र मेहता, जो आज हमारे विधायक हैं बीजेपी से, उनके ऊपर उन्होंने एक्सटॉर्शन का केस रजिस्टर करने का आदेश दिया है मुंबई हाई कोर्ट ने। और उसके बाद मैं आपको अगर ऐसे बोलने जाऊं तो मेरे पास अभी अनगिनत नाम है, अगर आप उनको थोड़ा सा सुनना चाहेंगी तो सुधाकर चौहान, नजीबुल्ला, नरेंद्र मेहता, हेमांगी चेंबुरकर, गणेश भाने, विशाखा पेंडेकर, वर्षा भानुशाली, ज्ञान मूर्ति शर्मा, राश्री पलांडे, गोधूमल किसनानी, ऐसे कितने नाम
कौन से पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, कौन से पॉलिटिकल
अगर आप बोलेंगी तो कोई ऐसा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नहीं है जिससे बचे हुए हैं। इसमें बीजेपी के सबसे ज्यादा कॉर्पोरेटर है, मतलब आई एम सॉरी टू से, बट लेकिन इसमें बीजेपी के सबसे ज्यादा कॉर्पोरेटर है, एनसीपी शामिल है, कांग्रेस शामिल है, शिवसेना शामिल है। सबका अगर नाम बोलेंगी तो मैं उनके पार्टी के नाम के साथ बता सकता हूं। बट लेकिन मेरा कहना यह है कि आप देखो, ये केवल इलेक्शन
कांग्रेस का कौन है, जरा नाम बताएंगे?
कांग्रेस का गोधूमल किसनानी, कांग्रेस से है उल्लासनगर। तो मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि आप लोगों से केवल मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप इसको केवल इलेक्शन बेसिस पे न लें। ये चारों तरफ जब ये इलेक्शन जीतते हैं तो इनका एक्सटॉर्शन ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है, क्योंकि तब ये पावर में आ जाते हैं।
आरती साटे, he called out names, he has a list, we can pick up that list and then re-verify it. This is Rajiv Mishra's list. But what is your response to what's happening right now on the ground? What is the party's stand?
See, I think any sort of abuse or misuse of power is something which our party has not really accepted. And we will, of course, on the basis of these facts and figures which are coming out, we will, of course, investigate and we will try and find out that if this sort of thing has been done by our party candidates, and necessary action if required will be taken. At the same time, I must also say that as a case in point, what I have heard very recently, that and I'm not trying to say because it's a Shiv Sena corporator or anything, but Ms. Chemburkar, if I get her name correctly, Ms. Chemburkar was found, taking this kind of bribe or an extortion activity which she was indulging in. And the Anti-Corruption Bureau really has taken a strong note of what has been happening. And finally, all these people who are actually indulging from, across political parties, if they are corporators or whatever, have to realize that they are really public servants as defined under the Prevention of Corruption Act. And there are enough powers with the Anti-Corruption Bureau and under the Prevention of Corruption Act to bring these people to books. So if this kind of thing is happening rampantly, as is being reporting on your channel, then surely, they have to be aware at the same time that this government will take every action which is necessary on the basis of evidences, on the basis of complaints, genuine complaints, because we cannot really act on something which may not have any credential value.
Rajiv Mishra, are you happy with that answer, Rajiv Mishra?
No.
Why not?
आरती साठे मैडम से मैं बिल्कुल भी सहमत नहीं हूं। मैं आपको एक बात बताना चाहता हूं, ये आज बोल रही हैं कि एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो इज देयर, बट लेकिन मैं आपको बोलता हूं, अगर
एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो ने इनफैक्ट चेंबुरकर मैडम को और उनको पुलिस कस्टडी में 11 फरवरी तक रखा था।
So there is also point out that Rajiv Mishra called out names other than Ms. Chemburkar, Sanjay Tatkare.
मैं आपको बीजेपी के कॉर्पोरेटर्स का नाम ले देता हूं।
One second. Sanjay Tatkare hasn't spoken yet. Sanjay, go ahead.
Fab, can I come in? See, I completely disagree what Swati was saying. If you see what's happening with BJP and the Chief Minister in past 6 months, right from Nasik to Ulhasnagar to Pune to Mumbai, there is a mass inductions of goons into BJP. Chief Minister has opened a one-window system of clean chit. He's been giving clean chits to all these goons and inducting them into BJP. You take, for instance, the case of Om Kalani. There are dozens of them in Pune and in Mumbai. And the glaring example of extortion happening in the CM's bungalow was what happened with Karan Johar. I don't know whether you have seen those media reports today.
These are all baseless allegations. Where does Karan Johar episode come into the picture?
Hanging.
No, I think these are baseless allegations which you are making. This is almost like making a sweeping statement. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think these are baseless allegations.
Can you allow me to take it ahead from there?
It's got nothing to do with Karan Johar and CM's office. I mean, you are just ultimately trying to say that NCP and all these other parties are spick and span and clear. There are enough goons and many allegations can be heard.
I want to understand. We've only heard so far the political parties use the word goons. Please explain to me why is there such a wide use of the word goons in politics? When you said, Sanjay Tatkare, when you said goons in the BJP, what is the definition of goon? And I'll come to you, Charan Singh Sapra, immediately after this. Sanjay Tatkare, what is a goon?
Can I answer you on that?
You see the criminal. I'll tell you what is a goon. You see the criminal records of the people who are inducted into BJP, right from dacoity to murder charges, from extortion to corruption, all charges are there on these people.
And more examples
and let Aarti Sate deny that all these people were not inducted in.
Enough and more. There are enough of defections happening at the time of elections.
What I'm saying is,
so please do not sit in glass houses and throw stones. I'm aware of what you're saying, but we have enough examples in your party and enough example of corruption perpetrated right since beginning. I have been repeatedly telling on this show that we are carrying the legacy of a corrupt government prior to us.
And the political hierarchy of BJP to induct people.
The point is what is happening today. Right. If there is a misuse of power, if the corporators are being misusing their powers, then a check needs to be bought, and there are enough provisions. And a case in point is of Mr. Chemburkar, which is under, ACB is investigating. So I think this is the case in point.
Let me bring in more voices. Stalin Dayanand, Sujay Kantawala. Stalin Dayanand, it's not a question of one party or the other. This is commonplace. This is how local government functions.
This is a reflection of society actually. The kind of people who are standing for today's elections cannot find jobs on their own which will even give them 10,000 rupees a month. And people who are hardly educated. Now you ask the definition of goons. Goons are those who protect the slums from demolition. Goons are those who keep the voter banks appeased by distributing cash before the elections. And the people who pay up are also guilty. It's very clearly known that fear is the key that unlocks the wallet of the rich. So it's a question of each person scratching the other person's back. And political parties cutting across all sections have all found people who are all of criminal backgrounds, of very poor service records, who want to contest these elections. Now, why should a person be over enthusiastic to come and serve the society? Serve. Now, what is it? It's obviously to make money. So, to make money, you have to invest in this process.
I also want to put this out in support of what Shailesh Gandhi said at the beginning of the show. Every month, a corporator gets a monthly remuneration of 10,000 rupees and an allowance of 150 rupees. Who would want this job?
Exactly.
Who would want this job? Which self-respecting person would want a job that pays you 10,000 rupees? There'll obviously be an ulterior motive. The system is broken. Sujay Kandawal.
Yeah, of course. And look at the minuscule amount. So therefore, as Stalin rightly said, the only incentive seems to be to come and make hay while you are in power. Why? Before you are in power, you start extorting. Imagine when you come into power, what you'll do. So this is a complete mockery. And let's get back to the topic at hand, election hafta. We have friends from all parties on the debate. So I am a voter here. I'm watching the representatives and I'm going to be voting very soon. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing here that there is complete mockery of the law. The election commission is turning a blind eye. And now it seems that the Mumbai police is also turning a blind eye. So isn't it high time that we have an elite squad under the election commission's nose? This is all happening, where the anti-corruption bureau, Mumbai police all come together and start picking up few people and start doing some sting operations. Why does the media and especially your channel have to always bring this to the light of these people, and why not there is some jagrut from inside, some internal fire that starts burning? Now today I read that in UP, I'm just giving an example, only after the election speech was over, the dance girl started. So all these people are making a mockery of the election process. I would request the election commission now come down heavily on these kind of people, and we voters, we citizens who want to elect good people. Now what are we seeing in front of us? We are seeing that people who are, and a businessman, look, a businessman is a soft target. If he's running a small restaurant or small businessman, he's going to buy peace. So he's an unwilling bribe giver. He's an unwilling bribe giver who really does not want to, but he has no choice, because if he doesn't, then there's going to be violence and destruction.
Charan Singh Sapra, respond to what Aarti Sathe said, that this current state government has inherited a flawed system from the previous government, and that's where the corruption comes from.
No, see, Aarti Sathe, I don't go by her words. Mr. Sanjay Tatkare gave one instance of Pappu Kalani's party getting associated with BJP. Now, if you go to Pune, there is a dreaded criminal, a notorious gangster who has murder cases and Makoka cases. His name is Vitthal Shelar. He was inducted into BJP in presence of the minister Girish Bapat. Then if you come to Nasik, there is a person called Pawan Pawar. He has extortion cases and booked under Makoka. He was admitted to BJP. Then if you go to Thane, there is a notorious criminal Mayur Shinde. He was admitted to BJP. Then in Nagpur, a notorious criminal Santosh Ambekar, a dreaded criminal having murder charges on himself. His wife is being given ticket, Neha Ambekar from Nagpur. Now what is this going on? See, the issue is when the political parties feel a need to enhance their, their cult, they need these muscle men or these goons, then this problem starts and it gets aggravated. It is there already in the system. But now somebody has to fight it out. That's why I'm saying when an affected person becomes a complainant, then probably we'll be able to restrict all this to some extent. I'm not saying that it will be eradicated completely, but to some extent he will get exposed. The media will expose him, the police will catch hold of him, the criminal case will be filed on him, FIR will be filed, he'll be arrested. So the other people who are doing all this will restrain from it.
But Charan Singh Sabra,
So
can you say
somewhere we
for
have to
sure,
clip it
Charan Singh
down.
Sabra, can you say for sure that the Congress party has not inducted anybody who has a record against them, who has a case pending?
Yeah, please let me, if he's saying with confidence
No,
all these
I
other
don't
names,
think so.
I
that
want
in
him to
last
say
so
about the
many
Congress
years,
also.
there has been somebody who has been inducted into Congress and he has indulged into this. Now
Aarti
the
Sathi
gentleman had
responded,
taken
called out
one name
several
of
names.
Ulhasnagar, which I am not aware, but I will definitely investigate. I will definitely ask my party high command to investigate that person, and he should be removed from the party if he is doing such an activity in Ulhasnagar.
Rajiv Mishra, go ahead.
अभी सप्रा साहब बोल रहे हैं कि मैं इसको इन्वेस्टिगेट करूंगा और उसको पार्टी से निकाल दूंगा। मेरा तो ऐसा मानना है कि ऐसे अनेकों केस सप्रा साहब आपके सामने आ जाएंगे जब आप ये शुरुआत करेंगे। आपकी गिनती नहीं होगी कितने लोगों को आपको पार्टी से निकालना पड़ेगा। लेकिन मैं इस पे आता हूं फे की
तो भाई
इसका सॉल्यूशन क्या है?
आप हाइपरबोलिक बातें मत करिए ना।
नहीं, हाइपरबोलिक बातें नहीं कर रहा।
Let me also bring in Sanjay Tatkare. This entire list of people inducted into the BJP.
सभी को चोर पेंट करते जाओगे तो ऐसा तो पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम नहीं चलेगा ना। तो आप आइए ना।
नहीं, मैंने सबको नहीं बोला।
Is it that difficult to find candidates in the state of Maharashtra who don't have a track record, a criminal track record or cases pending against them?
मैं आपको थोड़ा आपका ध्यान बटाना चाहूंगा कि आज करने की क्या जरूरत है। मैं इस पर थोड़ा आपको लाता हूं। हम लोग समस्या पर बात करते हैं।
Rajiv Mishra, I'll come back to you. I just want to bring in Sanjay Tatkare. Sanjay, why is there such a history of criminal? One second, Charan Singh Sabra, 1 second.
Make the same point.
Sanjay, why is there such a history of criminals with criminal backgrounds entering politics? We've just heard Charan Singh Sabra list out an entire list of names of people he believes are goons entering politics.
See, basically the whole problem now, BJP in Maharashtra is aggravating this issue for a simple reason. They want to increase their base. As Sapra Sahab said, they want to increase their cult in Maharashtra and Mumbai. That's why they are right, left and center inducting all these people. But let me tell you, people of this city and people of Maharashtra, they have seen through this, they will see through this, and I believe that BJP, what they saw in 2014, that upswing what BJP got in Mumbai and in Maharashtra, they will not get that kind of response from voters of Maharashtra. And I feel good candidates and clean candidates from whichever party will get elected and form the new corporation here and elsewhere in Maharashtra.
Aarti Sathi.
Mr. Sapra was quick to point out a list of various candidates which apparently the BJP has inducted only to increase their vote base without really realizing that probably an equal number of candidates are there in their party too. In fact, several of their past CMs have had criminal records, have been, engaged in various scams. I mean, if I start 1 minute, 1 minute, I'm not going to name because I don't need to name. It's a party full of corrupt people.
See,
so if I have to start naming, it will be an entire party.
But
Mr. Sapra, let me finish what I have started. You cannot interrupt me. I did not interrupt you.
I can also mention the name of Mr. Baba Bodke, who's a dreaded criminal, and he was photographed with the Chief Minister Fadnavis.
Mr. Agarwal just pointed out that who is the tainted politician as far as you're concerned. You all have had a legacy of chief ministers who have been in the Adarsh scam, who have been in the irrigation scam. So all these people should be ousted from the party on the same logic as you're saying.
Sujay Kantawal.
All the names of the criminals, the murderers of their extortionists.
What is happening here is
extortionists and murderers in your party, murderers of
let me say this. What is happening over here is that everyone seems to be knowing who are the criminals in the other party. Everybody seems to be knowing that. It's such an open secret it seems to be on this show. Let me request all of you all, please give us 5 names of good people whom you feel are good and don't have any criminal background. Because we as voters need to know about such people.
Me, Sujay, me.
You seem to be aware of what each other people are there in each party.
All I'm saying is
candidates are there. All I'm saying is now what we need today. What we need today, Faye, is what we need the election commission to seriously hear to what a citizen and a voter and a lawyer is talking.
Please have a witness protection program. You seem to have forgotten what is a witness protection program is.
Very true.
If a person wants to come and be a vigilante and he wants to come and give you information, he wants to be a complainant, you have to protect him. It's your duty under the law to protect a person who is a whistleblower. Only then you will have people who will take the courage, who will not be named and who will expose these kind of things. And therefore, then the cases will be made. So therefore, a witness protection program, even if you have 5 people whom you protect and whom you don't disclose, and you book 5 cases, that will be a good start.
You know, I want to bring in Willy Shirsat here and, of course, Rajiv Mishra, who are the activists here. And I want to point out also, Charan Singh Sapra, that while Congress corporator Sheetal Matre was a sitting corporator, she was booked for assaulting a junior engineer at the ward office in Dahisar West. This information was found no mention in her affidavit when she filed again for election.
That was no. That was an assault because they had some different deliberation. It was not corruption.
Willy Shirsat, go ahead.
I'm just amazed as these politicians are raising fingers at each other. Well, may I quote Anna Hazare? Anna Hazare said, if I contest an election, I will lose my deposit. I will lose my deposit. Now, someone talking about election commission. TN session time, I still remember, he was a very powerful election commissioner. And things were really under control, some control that time. The election commission has to be powerful.
Exactly.
And they have the additional powers, as somebody said, protection of the whistleblower. Then coming to what I'm thinking is, why all these bad people are there? Why all these bad people are there? Because good people like you, me and everybody are not risking ourselves to come into the political system. That is the whole problem. Good people are not there because bad people are there because good people are not taking the risk to come inside the political system. And before I finish, let me quote Chetan Bhagat here in his latest book.
No, one second. Stalin, go ahead.
In these elections, you will find that there is a lot more illegal money floating around. For the simple reason that these grand alliances have broken in Congress, NCP, Shiv Sena, BJP, everyone has split away. So now it's each unto his own. So everyone is trying to make an impact. All the tickets are being given on the basis of the money that is given to the immediate head. It's a two-way process. The candidate invests money and it's come back.
Stalin, you're saying tickets are being sold? Shailesh Gandhi, are tickets being sold?
You show me a single candidate who will keep his hand on his heart and say, I have not paid money for my ticket. It's not going to happen.
No, definitely, I think what Stalin is saying is very true. Tickets are being sold, have been sold. But just one other thing I'd like to bring
No, this is wrong. Why come on this?
Let me point out
let him finish. Charan Singh Sapra, let him finish.
I'm not saying everyone, but tickets are being sold. I'm not talking of any particular party.
Gandhi, you can't just generalize all these things.
But there is another very basic reason why these criminals are becoming more powerful and getting into politics, which is the failure of our criminal justice system. So long as the criminal justice system does not deliver, and it is not in a position to deliver, this kind of thing will happen. Those who want power are criminals. They will get into the electoral seats and they will get winning leads, and because they can always find great money. It's a power struggle really. If we can improve our criminal justice system, maybe we have a much better hope of having lesser criminals in our politicians.
Well, let me ask Sanjay Tatkare this. Sanjay Tatkare, can you actually honestly tell me that nobody in your party has ever sourced funds through intimidation, that nobody in your party has intimidated a small business owner, that this doesn't happen at all?
Well, I'm nobody here to deny all these things. These things have been happening. These things have been happening for past 25, 30 years in Mumbai, and ever since BJP Shiv Sena has come to power in Mumbai for past 25 years, this has been happening and increasing year by year. My only issue is, don't paint all the corporators and all political activists with the same brush. My only issue is, with BJP coming into power in Maharashtra, there is multiple fold increase in all these activities, and I earnestly request the Chief Minister to stop inducting and giving legitimacy to all these goons.
Right. You know, I just want to share some information with our audience. The Praja Foundation had released this report, and this is numbers from December 2015. Out of the 227 corporators in the BMC in Mumbai, 53 have criminal offences and a history of criminal offence. According to this NGO, 17 of those corporators are from the Shiv Sena, 11 are from the MNS, 9 are from the Congress, 6 are from the BJP, and they all have criminal records against them. Others include 5 independent corporators, 2 from the NCP, 1 from the Samajwadi Party. Sitting at, and those are the numbers that we're looking at right now. And in fact, just to drive home the point, if viewers have just joined us, I just want to play this one chunk. This is a restaurant owner and followed by a developer of what they're telling us is happening on the ground right now before the elections in Mumbai. Listen in.
And they'll pay the money by cash only. When before these last 6 months, it will work more. They are doing more because they want come to power.
You go to a restaurant, in a kitchen, in peak hour, you'll find a floor wet. So there they can make a case. As simple as that. So what happens, even if the dustbin is not covered, they can file a case against us.
Right, Aarti Satya, I have a question for you. Post-demonetization, if anything at all, this sort of cash demand should have been worked out of the system. We understand still that bar owners telling us that up to 60 lakh rupees in cash is what is being demanded from these small business owners who don't have, they don't have the money in cash. So obviously the cleanup hasn't happened, Aarti.
See, I won't say that the cleanup has not happened completely. There will be certain hiccups, or there will be some amount of cash generation which may still take place. There's no denial about that. But surely, well, what the demonetization has done is that it has created...
is a complete failure.
No, 1 minute. It has created... So if their demand may be 60 lakhs, for example, they will definitely have a cash crunch because the demonetization has helped clean up the system to a large extent. I won't say that it is a complete cleanup, but it is to a large extent. It's worked as a deterrent. It has also worked in a very positive manner to create in the minds of people some sort of fear that if they hoard cash above a particular limit, then there are several penal
Aarti, I agree with you, the fact that these people, that business owners cannot hoard cash anymore because there's no cash to hoard. But if people are going to continue to demand hafta, if people are going to continue to demand bribes, they're going to have to generate that cash from somewhere in order to keep their businesses going.
No,
Developers are then going to have to ask their customers to give them cash. Business owners are going to have to ask their vendors to give them cash. We will go back to where we came from, basically undoing everything that has been done for the last 2 months. All of that pain would have been for nothing.
No, but at the same time, Faye, one will also have to see that there are a lot of places where now, you know, Paytms have been installed. There are a lot of places where cash is not being accepted.
Not unless the election hafta is being asked for in Paytm payments or check
hafta
payments.
is being asked for. That's what I said. What if this election hafta is being asked for across political parties by, you know, by some corporators? I'm not aware who's asking and who's not asking. Then, like Sujay was mentioning, that we need to bring in more stringent laws, and which as a government we will see to it that those stringent laws are implemented. Case in point being, which I have pointed out repeatedly on the show, is what of Ms. Chemburkar, that the ACB has already acted upon information. So I think the stringency of law and the execution and the implementation in such kind of things is more important, rather than completely rubbishing the fact that the demonetization has not helped in a complete cleanup. Again, to say that maybe a complete cleanup may not have happened, but a huge amount of cleanup has happened, and as a result of that, in fact, if there is no cash available with these builders who are, you know, from whom these haftas are being demanded, then really it will not even help these people who are actually asking for this hafta. So, you know, demonetization in that sense has really helped because these builders are with no cash, and so they will
I
not
just
be
want
able
to come in for a minute.
Well, the problem then, Aarti Satya, is you're saying the developers and the restaurant owners have no cash, so they're not able to pay. They are being threatened with violence.
No,
they are being
so that
intimidated.
is why I'm saying.
So having no cash is not leaving them in any sort of, you know, better position than they were before demonetization.
No. So if they are being threatened by violence, and if they are being, you know, this extortionism is happening at the ground level, then the law is something which we need to enforce on a more stringent basis, and the government is actively doing that and will continue doing that.
Ms. Sathe, the law and order is the Chief Minister's domain. He is the Home Minister of Maharashtra.
So I know he is the Home Minister of Maharashtra. I know it is our domain, and exactly that is what I'm trying to say, that stringent action will be taken.
But Aarti Sathi, let me just point out the reason why we are having
goons in your party.
Let all the information come through.
Like
you know what happens most of the time is we start a media trial.
Then how can he protect the system?
But Aarti Sathi, if for example, let's be honest, our Chief Minister has been Home Minister now for 2.5 years. Now, if the law enforcement was really doing their job, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. We wouldn't be in a situation where every restaurant owner between here and Bandra has told us that they have received intimidating phone calls, they have received intimidating visits. All small developers are telling us they're receiving intimidating visits. The larger developers and restaurant owners have told us that no, nothing is happening. Now, I don't know if they're doing that because they're too afraid to come out with the truth, or if they're too big fish to be caught by these corporators. But the truth is that every small middle-class businessman is being intimidated. And if we had a law enforcement that was in place, that was doing its job, this would not be happening. Rajiv Mishra, I cut you off.
It's not happening for the last 2 years. It's happening just pre-election.
Stalin, go ahead, and then Rajiv Mishra.
See, we need to, if any of us are serious about clearing this problem, we need to cut out the incentive to become a corporator. You mentioned that they get 10,000 rupees a month, but what you have not mentioned is what is the amount of money that they are allowed to spend on their constituencies. That money should not be given to them. It should come from the central, from the state government directly to the contractors. When you do that, when you cut him out of the equation, you will find that nobody wants to contest that election. So automatically all these things fall into place.
How is that a solution if nobody wants to contest the election? Are we going to wind up the BMC?
No, the people who are really interested in serving society will come forward. It's not that there are people who want to do good for the society, but they don't have the money. The lack of money is a deterrent for good people to come forward. Like someone said that Anna Hazare himself said that I don't have the money to fight an election. So unless you cut out the incentive, things will not change.
Shailesh Gandhi, if the incentive was cut out, would you run for BMC?
No, I may not run. I mean, that's a very individual issue. I may not run for any elections irrespective of what happens. But I think this is too simplistic a view that my friend is taking. Democracy means decentralizing. He believes that if it becomes central money, even the central government is corrupt.
Let me just bring in Rajiv Mishra.
Let him sanction the projects. He will not have a financial say in it.
Rajiv Mishra,
Whatever he wants will be done in his ward.
Rajiv
but
Mishra,
to get him
I
financial
interrupted you when you were
incentive
giving us
wrong.
evidence. Please go ahead.
मैं एक बात आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि देखो आज के समय में ये जो करप्ट पॉलिटिशियन का जो पॉलिसी चल रहा है ना, ये इसलिए चल रहा है क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं इसके लिए हम लोग दोषी हैं। अगर हम लोगों ने ईमानदारों को सही समय पर सही सम्मान दिया होता था तो आज ये करप्ट पॉलिटिशियन की पॉलिसी पलती नहीं थी। दूसरा एक मेजर बात मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि लॉ इज अवेलेबल हियर, यहां पर कानून है, सिर्फ उसका इंप्लीमेंट करना है। आपको मैं बता दूं हर चीज के लिए कानून बनी है, कहीं पर ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई नया कानून लाने की जरूरत है, कोई बहुत बड़ा चमत्कार करने की जरूरत है, ऐसा नहीं है। सिर्फ जो कानून है उसको इंप्लीमेंट करने की जरूरत है। अभी चीफ मिनिस्टर देवेंद्र फडणवीस जब पहली बार मुख्यमंत्री पद का शपथ लिए थे तो उन्होंने कहा था कि मैं लोकायुक्त की ताकत को बढ़ाऊंगा और सिटीजन चार्टर से जो कायदा है वो लागू करूंगा। ये उनका पहला स्टेटमेंट था जब उन्होंने ओथ लिया था। मैं बोलता हूं कहां उन्होंने लोकायुक्त की ताकत को बढ़ा दिया, जरा बताएं वो मेरे को। दूसरी एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात, सिटीजन चार्टर अभी तक कहीं पर भी ढंग से लागू नहीं हुआ। दूसरी एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि एसीबी, एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो, जो इसको लेकर के सबसे एक्टिव ब्रांच है या डिपार्टमेंट है, उसकी मैं बात कर रहा हूं। कल तक मैं लोकल पुलिस स्टेशन में सब इंस्पेक्टर हुआ करता था या इंस्पेक्टर हुआ करता था और आज मैं एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो में चला जाता हूं। ये क्या सिस्टम है? कल तक जब मैं सब इंस्पेक्टर था उस वक्त मैंने करप्शन किया है और कल मैं एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो का मैं इंस्पेक्टर बन जाता हूं, तो मैं करप्शन को कैसे कंट्रोल करूंगा? एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो को आप एक स्पेशल यूनिट बनाइए और इसमें जो आए वो एंटी करप्शन में ही रहे, उसका प्रमोशन एंटी करप्शन में हो, उसका डिमोशन।
Okay, I know Aarti Sathi has to leave. Aarti Sathi, very quickly, Lokayukt is a very good question, and the citizen charter. Why? What is the response to that Rajiv Mishra just brought up?
I think the Lokayukta will be, it is under consideration and it will be implemented at a time when it needs to be implemented.
It's already been 2.5 years. Aarti Sathi, it's already been 2.5 years.
We'd like to be educated, man. What is that time? What is the appropriate?
How much time will it take, Aarti? This consideration that you speak of, how long will it take?
Well, at this point of time, I'm not able to give any timeline, but surely, well, if it is a part of our manifesto, it will be implemented in due course of time, is something which I can definitely promise. At the same time, to say that, there has been no effort done on the part of the Chief Minister to really ramp up the police system or to give more powers to the Anti-Corruption Bureau, I think is completely incorrect. In fact, there has been a constant effort on our part to ramp up and to bring about a systemic change in the police system as far as Maharashtra is concerned. We have seen to it that we have implemented better programs for them, education programs, better facilities, better working hours, better pension schemes. So I think all this will lead and is leading to a better law and order situation.
Of all of those things, the only thing that has actually been implemented is an 8-hour shift. Yes, 8-hour shift for the police officers in certain police stations in Mumbai.
For that,
the rest of them are still on the old system. Sanjay Datkare, go ahead. Sanjay.
Fab, can I come in? Yeah, my sincere request to the Chief Minister is, he has been complete failure as far as he as a Home Minister. We completely need a full-time Home Minister for Maharashtra. Then we'll see some changes happening.
All right, we're going to take a very quick break on this note. We'll come back and talk about possible solutions and why, as voters, we're left with such few choices. That's on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Watching the urban debate in Magic Bricks now, we're talking about how there is rampant corruption on the ground before the BMC elections. From what we understand, builders and business owners are being threatened, they're being intimidated and they're being extorted for money that candidates can use for their campaigns. This in spite of the fact that the Election Commission, the IT department and the government has made it very clear that they're working very hard to clean up the system post-demonetization. There doesn't seem to be too much of a clean-up in place. And as we look at the candidates list, we realize that so many of them have criminal cases pending against them. This is some information for you. Between Borivali and Dahisar, the electoral walls are 1 to 18 in North Mumbai. 26 candidates have criminal records, 5 from the BJP, 5 from the Shiv Sena, 1 from the Congress, 15 independents. And the criminal cases in these cases include murder, molestation, causing grievous hurt with dangerous weapons or means. These are our candidates. These are our choices. Sujay Kantawala, such few choices, such poor choices.
Exactly, and that is really appalling because as a voter, and that is, I speak for the normal Mumbaikar, who has to drudge through the daily routine of everyday life, and he has to deal with all sorts of problems. Now we have road digging everywhere, we have all sorts of problems, traffic. I mean, ultimately, where does the Mumbaikar go? Where does he look to? He looks to the person he is going to elect. And if this is the kind of level that we have gone down to, I can understand rest of India, but Mumbai was always a city that we're so proud of, leading city of India. And if this is the thing, I think we need a serious relook. I request all the political parties, please pull up your socks. Please give us better governance. That is what we deserve actually. And as far as the suggestion part is concerned, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but what we need today is a dedicated elite squad under the Election Commission. The Election Commission has to pull up its socks and has to look with a microscope and use all the latest gadgets and equipment to pick up these kind of people who are indulging in these malpractices. Also, secondly,
I also want to point out. And I'll bring in Sanjay Datkare here. Sanjay, there is a need here for political parties to self-regulate, to actually look at candidates who have bad track records. If you get information from activists like Rajiv Mishra, you should toss these candidates out. We can't be in a system where political parties are pointing fingers at each other and say, you have so many criminals, no, you have so many criminals. That leaves the voter nowhere, Sanjay.
No, I completely agree. There has to be a more interface between the citizens group and the political parties. But unfortunately, what we have been seeing in past 3-4 years, that most of the citizens group, they have been giving candidates to BJP. There are as many 3 candidates from the citizens group they are given to BJP. So there is a complete shift towards the BJP, unfortunately, from the citizens groups also. And as far as NCP is concerned, we have been shortlisting candidates. We have many advocates, doctors, engineers contesting from our party. But we understand our limitations, and we have tried to do our best in terms of selection of candidates.
Shailesh Gandhi, I'll give you the last word.
I think we need a couple of measures if we have to get into a better nation, a better India. One is, I would recommend state funding of elections with parties collecting and the state matching that, because otherwise state funding would be nonsense and people would just throw the money away. Parties should collect donations and it should be matched. Two, this 2,000 rupee limit that is now being proposed will do nothing. What should actually happen is all donations should be linked to an Aadhaar card. And this concept saying that we will have criminals.
But
unless our criminal justice system
so while
improves.
that is fair, all donations should be linked to an Aadhaar card. But what happens? Nobody. This is hafta we're talking about. This is when I shake you down for money. This is extortion. This is political terrorism.
For that, we need an effective criminal justice system. Let's be honest. All those who we are calling criminals have criminal charges against them. And Sujoy will agree that the whole concept and the fundamental basis of a justice system is that you are innocent until proved guilty. We have now converted, because of a dysfunctional judicial system, into saying you are a convict until you prove you are innocent.
Right.
This is flawed.
Right. In fact, I have to wrap up this show here, but I want to point out to our audience, this is the first civic election in Mumbai where you can exercise none of the above as an option, the Nota option. It's also the first. Okay, Charan Singh Sapra, very quickly, go ahead. I have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to make it clear that not all politicians are corrupt and not all politicians are criminals. Maybe 2 to 5% are there, but the parties are becoming serious and they are trying to, remove them from the party also. The other panelist was talking that the fund of the corporator should be rotated through the IAS officers. It is still being done in the same way. A corporator or a MLA only has a right to write a letter and recommend the project. The entire fund is being regulated through the IAS officers only. And you are talking about corruption in the politicians or the political field or the political parties. You should also think what is the corruption level in the bureaucracy. It is in fact more than what the politicians are being implicated for.
All right. I have to wrap up this conversation here, but I just want to point out to our viewers today that if you don't actively get involved in this election and go out and vote, we are going to spend the next 5 years talking about bad roads and waterlogging and bad water and poor use of our public spaces and bad traffic. That's what we're going to look at. And make it a point to go out and find out who your candidates are. Do they have criminal cases against them? Are they the local gundas? Do you want them in charge of your spaces? We'll give you the information. That's what we're here for. What we need you to do is to get active and to go out and actually exercise your vote based on the individual, not anything else, because it's that individual who will matter. That's a wrap on the Urban Debate. Thank you for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.